This is the Intentional Faith Audio Blog, and today is April 13th, 2020. It's Easter Monday. Hey, everybody, it's your old buddy, Chef Jordan, coming to you again from the Man Cave here in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I hope you had a great Easter. And, you know, Easter is the end of a 40-day period called Lent. You guys knew this. Time when you're supposed to reflect on how you could have done things better and things like that. But did you know that with Easter, we start another 40-day period in the Christian calendar that this year ends on May 31st? Maybe it didn't. It's called Pentecost. We'll talk about that later. But the reason I mention that is because this next 40 days gives you an opportunity. And the opportunity I want to share with you is one that I fell into back in 2004, and it helped transform my faith walk. And all it took was 30 minutes a day for 40 days. So I want to share that story with you. I actually wrote a blog about this 3 years ago. So I'm repurposing that. I'm going to share that story with you and also the tool that I used. And I want to challenge you to consider using this tool in the next 40 days to transform your faith journey. So the blog actually starts out by saying the most important book you will ever read may not necessarily be the Bible. So let me take you back to 2004, and my wife Mary Danny and I were decided to take a trip during the summer of 2004 to the British Virgin Islands, Tortola. So we left Norfolk and had to go to Charlotte, where we had a little bit of a layover. So once we got to Charlotte and we had that layover, I decided I need to go find a book to read while we spend our 5 days in paradise in Tortola. You know, sitting on the beach and having an adult beverage and just relaxing. So you know, they've got stores in the airports. You know what I'm talking about. You go in there, they got newspapers, magazines, books, candy, the whole work. So I went in there with the hopes of finding something. And I'm not a fiction kind of reader. I like nonfiction, biographies, anything where I can, you know, have some interest in things and maybe learn something. So that's what I was looking for. I had no luck at all. So feeling a little frustrated, I left that establishment, whatever you call those things, but on the way out, they had this standalone kiosk. You know what I'm talking about, 4 sides. And on this kiosk, there was one book on all 4 sides. And I went over and looked at it, and it said, The Purpose-Driven Life. I went, interesting. Purpose-driven life. That might be of interest to me. So I went over and took a closer look. It's really the subtitle that hooked me. What on earth am I here for? Just so happened that I had been wrestling with that very question for quite a while. So I reached down, picked up a copy to give it a look. I didn't know it then, but Purpose-Driven Life was already a huge bestseller. All I knew was that the book's title hit dead center on something that had been nagging me for a very long time. Why the heck am I on this earth, and what, if anything, is my purpose? Maybe you can relate. And I'm betting that at some point in your life, probably many times in your life actually, you are going to ask the very same questions. Maybe you already have. That day in that airport was a time in my life where I was desperately seeking those answers. So of course I picked up the book and went and bought it. But I really didn't have a time to dig into it because a flight got called and we were loading up, and really wasn't until the next afternoon that we went to the beach and I took the book, and you know, I finally had a chance to sit down and take a closer look. And when I did that, I soon realized that The Purpose-Driven Life has 40 chapters. There's that 40 time frame again. 40. Now that may seem like a lot, but each chapter is only 4 to 5 pages long. Yeah, and the intent of the author, Rick Warren, is that you read only 1 chapter a day. Okay. Clearly, this was not the kind of book I had intended to buy for my vacation, because I wanted to sit for hours and read, not sit for, read 4 or 5 pages and be done. But maybe it was the kind of book I needed to be reading. So I started to go ahead and at least check out the first chapter, which is titled, It All Starts with God. Well, it's at this point that I began to have a mental conversation with the author. Of course it does, I say. Everyone knows it starts with God. Is that all you got? And then I read the first 4 words of the entire book, of all 4 chapters the first 4 words. It's not about you. Wait. What? What? You're kidding. What do you mean it's not about me? Of course it's about me. That's why I bought the freaking book. I want to know what my purpose is. That can't be right. But in a split second, those 4 words made me realize I didn't have the first clue. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. So granted, you might feel like it's unusual to find a life-changing book in an airport kiosk. It wasn't even the kind of book I was looking for, but I did buy it anyway. At 3 years shy of 50, I was 47 then, and fairly content with life, I nevertheless found myself struggling. Maybe you can relate. Something was missing, and I was searching for answers. Who knew that a book I wasn't even looking for, that I found in a kiosk in an airport, would start the process that would eventually lead me to all the answers? God knew. And as I was about to learn, God's hand is in everything, and His timing is perfect. Yeah, the 4 words that start it all. It's not about you. Honestly, I'd never considered that it's not about me. How about you? And why should I have considered that? Because the message is complete opposite of what the world tries to tell us and sell us every minute of every day. That was true in 2004, and it's of epidemic proportions in today's culture. Can you imagine how rich I would be for every selfie that's ever been taken? Yeah. Bill Gates got nothing on me. I was so taken aback by those first 4 words, though, that I was compelled to keep reading to see if the author was some kind of nutcase out of touch with reality. Before I knew it, I was halfway through the 40 chapters of the book, and you're only supposed to read 1 a day. Very quickly, I learned that Rick Warren is in no way a Looney Tune. He has a way of explaining things. This is the key. He has a way of explaining things that reveal to me with great clarity that I didn't have a clue about the things I thought I understood. The most important of which were the 4 words, it's not about me. Okay. Where are you now? I'd like to tell you that everything changed the minute I finished reading The Purpose-Driven Life. It didn't. But the book compelled me to start looking at things differently from a more faith-based perspective, and it helped me to make sense out of things that I had previously not understood. I began the process of finding the answers I was so desperately seeking, and it is a process. It would actually take 5 more years in a 5-week period of life-altering events, which we'll talk about at some point, before I fully understood the truth. And I believe that we have said this before. I'm going to say it again. The truth is from Proverbs 16, verse 9. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. You've heard me say that before. Put simply, I needed to get the hell out of the way and let God lead and direct my life. I needed to embrace that it's not about me. Eventually, I came to understand that my purpose in this life is what God's purpose for me is, because it's all about Him. So where are you in your life right now? Is it all about you? Do you wonder sometimes why you're here? Maybe you're successful by the standards this world determines, but you still feel empty. Perhaps life doesn't always seem to make much sense. Here are 2 quotes from The Purpose-Driven Life that kind of put it all into perspective. Focusing on ourselves will never reveal our life's purpose. And you were made by God and for God, and until you understand that, life will never make sense. That's truth there. So here are my final thoughts. If you find yourself looking for answers to some of life's universal questions, here's what I recommend you do. Pray. I mean it. Pray. Reading The Purpose-Driven Life might work for you also. It probably will. And I would just ask God to show you how or where to find the answers that you are seeking. And then just let God lead you. It's that simple. He led me to a kiosk in an airport. So don't be surprised where He might lead you to find the answers. And finally, here's a verse from The Glory Within, one of my favorite poems that I've shared before, by American poet Burton Braley. Remembering this helps me when this world tries to reel me back into its wicked web. Fame is transitory and riches fade away. But when you get a glory, it is there to stay. Friends, I just want you guys to get a glory. And having been where some of you might be, some of you millennials who are wondering what the heck is going on and what am I here for, and yada, yada, I know how that feels. I want you to get The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, and I want you to do one chapter a day, every day for 40 days. It may not take you more than 30 minutes. It's going to revolutionize your faith journey. I guarantee it. So I'm going to leave you a link here to go to Amazon and get it. It's under $10 whether you get it Kindle or whether you get it hard copy. Here's what it looks like. I think I've read this 6-7 times in the last 16 years. Because every now and then I just got to go back and just soak up some of the stuff that he's so clear about. So the tool you need to do, you need to use religiously, you like that word, in the next 40 days is The Purpose-Driven Life. What on earth am I here for? Don't tell me you don't want to know. We all want to know. All right, friends and neighbors, as always, I appreciate your support. Hopefully we're doing things that you like. And I just want you guys to stay strong, keep the faith. We are live at noon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Come and see us. And as always, may the Lord of peace Himself give you peace at all times and in every way. The Lord be with all of you. Love you guys. See you soon.